The Hadcast.
And we're off. Episode 2.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm pleased you enjoyed the last one.
Yeah, it was quite well received.
I've read a few comments.
What was your favourite?
The one you read out to me.
Oh, I've got that here. And when I say I've got it here, I don't mean I've got it all lined up. I mean, Pam Latham.
Yes, that was it.
She's put, let me get my peepers on. Oh.
Jade, you deserve a medal.
Jade, you deserve a medal for putting up with everything, lol. You're so funny, Jade, lol.
She's right.
Dan, you're just a wind-up merchant with a very dry sense of humour. I'm married to one just like that. The both of you are fantastic. You need your own TV show. Correct. Mm-hmm. Can't wait for the next instalment. This was my first ever podcast, and I am a nutcase. Oh, no, she didn't say that. I love watching the shows, Dan. It's great to get to know more about the man behind the show. Thanks to you both for an entertaining hour, just not long enough.
No, and I have just said to Dan, I was listening to some podcasts earlier, and I don't think there needs to be a time on them, because some that I was listening to were like 30 minutes long, some were nearly 2 hours, and I managed to have a shower, get dressed, do my hair. I just took my phone around with me, so, you know, I think we were trying last time thinking, right, we need to stick to a certain time, but we don't.
But we're not going to. We made a decision 4 seconds after I walked in the door from dropping the girls off this morning that we're not going to stick to a time. We're going to just let it run, and if it's 30 minutes, so be it. If it's 2 hours, so be it. And by the way, that was Pam Latham who said those nice comments, amongst many other comments. And just so to keep the audience informed, we've had about 300 people listen to that first podcast, which is an extraordinarily good start, I believe.
My mum this morning has said to Dan, my mum's feedback, this is just typical of my mum, she's not an overexcited person in the slightest. She said about the people in Tesco, she said, will that not offend them? But my response to that was, good, I don't care. So... yeah, I'm very aware of that, doing this, that there's things we're going to say about people who they'll probably guess who they are, but it would be boring to be too nice and straight-laced.
Yeah, and we're not being nasty, we're just being... Actually we are. But we'll just do it in a nice way. But your mum actually said to me, I said to her, did you listen to the podcast? And she goes, yeah, I listened to it on the way home last week. And I went, what do you think? She goes, yeah, it was all right. And it was like, that's praise. That's high praise indeed from your mum, that is.
I know.
Yeah, it's all right.
Mum isn't one of those people who's over-animated.
No.
She's, yeah.
No, it's made us laugh, really. So
I wrote down on my little list of things that we probably won't stick to, but a catch-up of this Wednesday to last Wednesday, which I've just said to Dan was absolutely nothing for me, because I have had earache from hell these last few days. I've not felt very well, sore throat, just all the works, which Mabel gave me. So I feel like I've done absolutely nothing.
You haven't. You've been a miserable stuffer for 7 days. And,
I've got a good pain threshold, but this earache has been something else. I'm taking paracetamol, ibuprofen, nothing's touching it. And I just got some penicillin out the cupboard that's probably out of date.
Oh, yeah.
I'm taking them.
No, that's fair enough. You've had a bit of a rough week. Everyone's been a bit poorly. Sorry, I'm just drawing Jade's attention to the fact that it looks like something had gone wrong on the recording, but it hasn't. And here we are, still rocking and rolling. It's been a hard week for you, actually, and in terms of how you've been feeling. And it's obviously 6 weeks holidays, which is shit, because it means we've got the kids. And, obviously, even though we've only had the kids a short amount of time relatively, we're already slightly fed up of them. And the sooner they are, gone from our house and under the care of somebody else, the better. What we thought we'd do, because obviously we're growing the format of this as we go along, we thought that we would start each week with a catch-up. And Jade would do her catch-up bits. I do my catch-up bits.
Mine were thrilling this week.
Oh, I can't wait to hear them.
No, that was it.
Oh, that was it. Is that it? Is that it?
I've done nothing. You just said we're catching up on the week. I've done nothing.
What, in terms of the creative production that you've had this week, what reels have you been doom scrolling through this week then? Because there's a girl who was.
Oh no, it's the Lego head. Have you seen him?
No.
The lad in Ibiza.
Who looks like the acorn off.
I actually thought he had a hat on.
I did.
It wasn't until I read the comments underneath that about his barber. I did a double take at it. He's got a hat on. No, he hasn't. That's his hair.
Who's cut that fucking hair? Who's cut it?
I'm not saying.
He looks like he looked like the acorn guy off Maths.
Who turned out to be really nice.
Adam.
I liked him. Yeah.
I mean, somebody made me. I read it that he looked like he said Benidorm's final boss.
Oh yeah, that's what everybody's
Amazing.
saying. Yeah.
He literally.
It's the fact that his mouth is so close to his nose, and he's got that tiny little moustache.
He's got that. It's a fucking awful moustache. He looks like it's a stick on everything. It really does. So
it's a little Lego head.
A Lego head.
Take that hair off and turn it round.
Playmobil hair. That's right. So you've got nothing. You've got nothing else. Nothing else in terms of catch up. Really?
No,
because that's
really.
fuck all. Really.
I know.
It's nothing.
I know.
Well, I've got a few bits. The first thing I'd like to really draw to people's attention is, oh God, I did a party at the weekend, and it was great. It was a nice party, but when I arrived, there was a load of cardboard cutouts of different like pop stars and stuff, and there was this cardboard cutout of Bon Jovi wearing sunglasses, and I actually thought that looks a bit like Jeffrey Epstein, and so I thought as a joke obviously on Facebook, I went, oh fucking hell, I'm disgusted with this. I've been to a party and they've got a cutout of Jeffrey Epstein on it. How low can you go? Blah blah blah. And the number of people have gone, that's disgusting. Oh my God, what bad taste that is. Oh, I can't believe it. There's a load of people who were like, obviously got the joke. Just come on, people, stick that brain into gear. You know me by now. As if somebody's going to have a Jeffrey Epstein cutout. And if they did, I wouldn't be posting. Oh, I don't.
I thought it was Hugh Grant.
Yeah, a few people did. I mean, I don't know whether Hugh Grant would be quite pleased with that. So, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein cutouts, that was not Jeffrey Epstein. It was Bon Jovi looking like a paedophile. Yes, so that was that good party over the weekend, and that was the only show. And then we've got a couple of shows coming up, a couple of private dues coming up this Saturday and Sunday, which is kind of cool. I recorded a podcast last night with two lads, Max and Tom, and the podcast is a Men at Work podcast where we were talking about people in the creative industries like myself and how we balance family life. And so I basically took my opportunity to tell them that I did everything and that you were just at home scratching your arse doing nothing.
Yeah.
And all that. And that's going to be coming out this weekend if people want to listen to how we make a complete pig's ear of balancing our work-life balance.
There's no such thing.
There isn't. In fact, we were talking about that last night. It's a work-life imbalance. It's not work-life balance.
Every day is wing it. Every day. We don't have a routine. We never have. We're not people who do routine.
No.
And it never works.
No.
How can you do the same thing over and over again?
I actually I get quite resentful at people who say, oh, what you want to do is you want to get them into a routine. Oh, fuck off.
I'm so easily bored in every aspect of my life that if I had a routine, I'd be bored of it. Yeah,
and also our kids don't know where the next fucking meal's coming from, do they? So that's how bad our routine is.
I mean, we don't have. Well, it probably sounds worse than what it actually is. They don't have. Mabel doesn't have a set bedtime. It's not like, right, it's 7:00, you must be in bed. 6:30, you have bath. It's never been like that for us. We never used to bring her home for a nap. Molly just falls asleep whenever she wants. We're quite just go with it, aren't we?
We do.
We just
we do.
live from hour to hour.
We do. We did.
It worked with the first one.
It did. We did before the kids. We're doing that after the kids. And if it works for us, great. If it doesn't work for us, well, it's our tough shit, isn't it, really? Last night there was a nightmare because obviously Molly's been going to bed really late because she just won't sleep. So Jade, in her infinite wisdom, decided to, shoehorn and the bedtime back into place and put Molly to bed at 6:30.
She never, ever has gone to bed that early. Neither of them have. But she fell asleep last night on me at 6:30, and I just thought, you must be joking if you think you're going to sleep on me for an hour and then wake up and party on. And I thought, you know what? Regardless if you wake up, you're going to bed. And she didn't wake up till 12:30.
And then I stayed up with her till 3.
But then that was it.
Yes, that was it. I stayed up with her till 3 while she got a party head on. And she was downstairs watching In the Night Garden and Death Wish 3. And I was just looking at her thinking, where are you? Why have we had you?
Aww.
I know. And she was like, dad. And I'm like,
it's funny, all she says at the minute is dad, 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 dad. But sometimes it's just da. And she really shouts it, and it just sounds like she's shouting at Dan.
Yeah, it's not that, it's dad. And so basically in my house, I have 3 women, and Molly's obviously going, dad, 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 dad. And Mabel's going, dad, dad, daddy, dad, daddy, dad. And Jade's going, Dan, 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 Dan. So a mashup of that is Dan, Dad, Daddy, Dad, 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 Daddy, Dad, Dad, Dad. That's all I get. Da 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 Dan, 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 all the time.
I said he needs to put all those together into a reel and do a little dance to it.
That's right. So I was up to 3, and then Jade got up and looked after Molly, and Molly then fell asleep at 3:01.
That's utter rubbish.
then
I was up for an hour with her.
Yeah, and then we got up about 6:30 this morning. And the kids have gone off to Grandma and Granddad's today, and so we've got a few hours on our own to get jiggy with it and do a podcast.
Oh, my God.
She doesn't know about that first bit yet. So that's good. So that's pretty much where we're at with a catch-up. Not much else to report. And my sister came over yesterday, Pip. Shout out to Pip. She helped me with Mabel and Molly when we went down to the toy library for play. Kids were a nightmare. Did the podcast last night, which I said will be out. I'll leave the link in the bio bit of this. And there we go. And we thought we'd carry on with a few questions and a few thoughts.
Well, I just want to pick up, really. I think we talked about you getting started, and then a bit after that. So I think we've reached the point of where Gary started advertising that he was going to turn up at people's weddings.
Yes, that's right.
So tell us about that.
Okay, I'll give you a completely unvarnished version of what happened then, if that's all right. Yeah, rather than the embellished version that I've grown used to giving on stage because I can't be asked to give the real reason. So I was singing at this really shit pub in Manchester called the...
Could be any.
Jesus, it could be any. What was it called? I say it's shit. It was shit. The people were decent, but the pub was shit. It was called the... It was in Staley. The Organ, the Mighty Organ. And I actually enjoyed the 2 times I sang there, but I'm not a pub singer. I find it really... I find it quite hard work singing in pubs on the sticky... shit-ridden carpet with old Kyle, who's having a pint of Foster's at the bar.
And DJ Dave.
Go on, Gary. And DJ Dave playing his, W.H. Smith karaoke machine in the corner. And I was playing there, and a couple of people who came that night was Anita and her family and friends, sister and friends. And they were obviously big Gary fans. We'd never met each other before, and she saw Gary Barlow tribute advertised, and she came in to have a laugh, and we ended up sort of getting to know each other, and she enjoyed the night, and she came back to see me a few times, and then I can't really remember the full extent of it, but I gathered that she'd really done a campaign to get Gary to go to her wedding, and he had said that he couldn't make it because he was performing that night with Take That, which I think is right. And I think Anita had to take that show in Manchester because she was getting married, otherwise she'd have been there. But Gary then had contacted me and said, "Oh, you know, I am going to go to Anita's wedding, and I gather you're singing there. Would you want to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, that would be amazing." And so a couple of us kind of knew what was happening, and we had to keep it a bit secret. Although I've got a feeling more people knew than probably, you know, we thought. And yeah, that was about 4 months later at the lovely place in Knowlesley. That's exactly what happened. And Gary, he came in and he really sang most of Million Love Songs to Anita, and I kind of joined him for the last part of it. And he did lose his place in this. I always say about him losing his place in the music, and he did. And he actually he sang do halfway through. But yeah, it was interesting that, because I felt no nerves at all singing with him. When I knew he was coming, I knew it was happening, and when he came, it was like the most normal thing in the world to sing with him. And then I remember going upstairs to my room after it was all done, because I had then carried on performing for another hour, and it was a real buzz. I remember going upstairs into the room afterwards and just laughing my fucking arse off, because I could not believe it had happened. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, nobody can take that away from me. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, I had a wedding down south, and I turned up at the wedding, and the glumness of these people's faces, because they'd seen obviously what had happened the night before, and they knew that Gary wouldn't be coming to theirs.
Aww.
But weirdly enough, I've never felt more on top of the world than on that wedding the day after. I felt like I was some kind of superstar arriving at that wedding, having just sung with Gary the night before. And so for some while, I really felt like I was riding a wave of confidence and publicity there. And I think, funnily enough, since then, I've not really looked back. And then Gary sent me a message a night or two later and said, "Oh, that was great fun, you know, and thanks. You know, I have a couple of tickets to come and watch the show in Manchester when we do one of the rearranged shows." So I went up and watched that, and that was the first time I'd actually seen Take That perform as you know, and it was a thrill. It was the best concert I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And he gave me a wave out when he was riding on the bike.
I think that's the same concert, and the weirdness of this.
Yeah.
So me and Mum never queue for anything, and
Posh.
No, as in, I'm just not that desperate to get to the front.
You're not going to stand with the unwashed bastards.
No, I can't be bothered with that. I'd just happily get my tickets and, you know. Okay. But we went to that particular concert twice, and on the second time, we were in the pit. It's the one with the pit, wasn't it? Yeah, and we queued up, and it was in Manchester.
It was.
And Anita was just in front of me, queuing.
Fancy that, eh?
Yeah, and how weird.
Yeah, how strange.
I'm assuming that could have been the one you were at.
I think it probably was. I think it was a rearrange of an additional date. And I was sat with a lot of the Coronation Street cast who I knew none of, because I don't watch Shittination Street. You don't know them all, you know.
I haven't watched the soaps for years. That's another story.
Your life has probably improved since then. Yeah. So that was that. So that was the Gary Barlow story. Okay.
So do you think singing with him at Anita's wedding propelled your career off in a different direction? Do you think it would be different now if you hadn't have done that?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I do. I think I wouldn't be as confident in my... I was about to say I think I wouldn't be as well known, but then that's assuming I'm well known, and that makes me sound like a dick, and I didn't want to do that. It kind of at the time put me on the map, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. In the tribute industry, in the tribute world, it put me on the map, and it put me on the map as certainly as the Gary Barlow guy, and but also from when you're a tribute artist and you're performing with the person that you're tributing to, that's something else. That is a real. That's like the ultimate achievement, isn't it? Really, and so and that's It was probably definitely one of the highlights of my life, and probably one of the highlights of Gary's life. So.
You see, you've said that could have put you in the spotlight more, doing that with him, but I think I only found you because of Gary being on the X Factor.
Yeah.
So, you know, him being more popular at the time and being on that show made me look.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't,
No, you wouldn't. Yeah, I get that. Can I just, we'll come back to that point about us meeting and stuff, but for the record, and I probably, you know, this might surprise me, I didn't like the fact that Gary did the weddings. I'm really surprised he did that. I mean, I feel great for the people that had him at their weddings, and that's, you know, great that they think that. But
well,
I think it cheapens him.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I really do. I really do. And, you know, it's the sort of thing that Gary Barlow would do, because he does tend to do stuff like that. But he's a pop star. And I don't know. You just wouldn't get Eminem doing it. You wouldn't get Tom York doing it. You wouldn't. It just made me. I just wondered why he did it. And sometimes I think to myself, you know, does he? Is he worried about not being in the spotlight, not being in the limelight? And I think that period of his career, you know, he was doing everything, everything. And I just wonder whether there's certain things that, in retrospect, he might have gone, you know, I probably wish I'd not have done that. But you know, they all.
I think things like that as well cause a lot of friction between the fans themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Because all of a sudden, one of them's got him to come to something.
That's right.
And also the fact that people let it rattle on for so long afterwards, right? And you feel like saying, you know, come on, that's done now. Yeah. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And, you know, for the record, and I don't mind saying this, if it was you and I getting married and Gary came, because you was a massive Gary fan, I think I would probably feel that the wedding was dominated by that. Yeah. And it's such a special thing between the two of you. I don't know. There's not a single person a single like singer or celebrity or anything like that I would want to come to our wedding. That's
a hard one, because Anita probably does feel like it dominated a wedding a bit, but equally wouldn't change it for the world.
Because it was so special. Yeah,
but
totally.
I can understand.
Yeah, I think it's a real, you know, individual's choice, and God, I mean, absolutely. But if I'm sitting here now and say, God, that must have made Anita's day, then that's negating everything else that happened on that day for her. You know, because a day would have been absolutely incredible even without Gary coming.
But I think also that's the sadness of that campaign, because it's almost, could the focus have come off the actual meaning of what the day was for some people?
Maybe.
You know, the ones who were really, you know, campaigning, who didn't get him there. Were they spending their whole day wondering, is Gary going to turn up later? And not actually thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just enjoying the moment.
Yeah, but I suppose that's you know, Anita and Alex, I mean, they've done nothing but be really effusive about how amazing that was. So that's their moment. And I think from a participant in that, you know, I kind of saw a few slightly unsightly things, I guess, you know, where people were rushing through the door trying to get to Gary after he'd gone, and a little bit of disrespect to, you know, the bride and groom in terms of how some of the people behaved afterwards. But that comes with, you know, a kind of a big pop star coming to the wedding. But I think on the whole,
you see, I don't. I think that comes with what the people are like.
Yeah, that's true.
Because big pop star in the room, if you've got a room full of, you know, people who are very respectful, nobody's going to go running after them and chase out the door.
No, that's right.
It's not. I don't think it's, you know, that's what comes with that. It's not. It's the people.
Yeah, that's right. But you know, I've got huge time for Anita and Alex, and I think that, you know, overall, I think that was a hell of a moment for them. And you know, I remember seeing Anita's face when Gary walked in the room, and there's no doubt that was a moment and a half for her, because she really wanted that. And I think poor old Alex, I think, has to live with that obsession, doesn't he? And you know, and I think sometimes when you're such a fan of somebody, that must have been an incredible moment for them. And I've not heard any other stories from any of the other weddings though, so I've not got anything.
That's the only one I know of.
Yeah,
how many did he do?
There was 5. So I don't really know any of the other stories, but I think the one with Anita and Alex on was probably the most publicised one. It's probably because I was there. So
well, absolutely, yeah. I'm sure that's what did it.
Yeah. And a shout out to Anita and Alex if you're listening as well. Hope you're okay.
Okay. Do you want to move on?
Oh, fucking hell, yes.
So, I've got here sort of, let's go from maybe 2016 onwards. You moved to Lincoln.
Yeah.
Well, came back to Lincoln because you were living in Lincoln.
Yeah,
you moved away and you came back to Lincoln.
Yeah.
So, how did that go for you?
Yeah, well, my previous relationship ended. I decided that I wanted to change completely, and I wanted to come home. I travelled around a little bit. I left Lincoln area in 2012 to go to the northwest, and then moved down to Leicestershire in 2014, and then 2016. That was it. I was kind of done, and I wanted to come home, so I found a house not far from where we're living now. A few
wouldn't
doors
believe how close.
a few doors. Yeah, and moved back to Lincoln, and really from that point on, it was like, okay. It felt like a totally fresh start. But I recall at the time I was starting to drink quite a lot. I was starting to, not, drink privately and quietly and in hotel rooms afterwards. And I remember, starting to have a couple of bottles of wine a night, sometimes 3. And this was quite a regular thing. During the week when I wasn't working, and then when I was, traveling around and I'd been in hotels, there wouldn't be a night where I wasn't having a drink afterwards, because I'd become quite lonely and quite isolated, I think. So that was, I felt myself going down a little bit of a plug hole there. And then I met you. And then
really went down the plug hole.
Yeah, massively, with a great big fur ball in it. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think of what order this came in. I came to Nottingham, was it on New Year's Eve? To see you with Mum. And I remember speaking to him at the bar afterwards and him telling me his full address. And I remember thinking, like, I laughed at the time, like, what do you want me to do with that? Like, do you think I'm going to turn up at your house or something?
And you did, actually.
Yeah, not for that reason. Yeah, like just the boldness of giving his full address, postcode included.
Yeah, but
like, what possessed you to do that?
But I think you're jumping slightly ahead.
Well, only because that's the address of where you were living, and we're talking about sort of there onwards.
Yeah, but I suppose it's the fact that our paths had crossed, and we'd had a moment of thunderboltery. Where we both...
but it's hard to pinpoint it back.
I know.
Because the first time I ever saw you was February 15.
Yeah, I think so.
I went to the Hilton in Lincoln.
Yeah.
And that was because, going back to what I said earlier, at the time, Gary had been on the X Factor a lot. And I was working with my mum for Interlink, the old courier firm, which then its sister company was DPD. And Interlink, is no more. It just all became DPD.
Because you two worked there.
Yeah.
Fucked it all up.
And so me and my mum worked in the office there. And I remember often having Gary as my background on my computer. And me and Mum, just in the office together working. And one day I just said, about shall we go and see a show? And I found tickets for his show at the Hilton in Lincoln. So I booked them. And yeah, we went. And I think some of my work lot came. I think it was like a late Christmas work do. So I think there was some people there from work as well. And but it was funny because the show had finished and my dad had turned up afterwards. And I remember him just getting hold of Dan when he'd come off the stage straight away.
I hate that.
And I knowing what I know now, I know he'd have just been absolutely itching to get away. And he got hold of him and was like, we have a photo with my daughter. And we've got this photo together. and Dan probably barely even looked at me, like as if he just did the cursory, gritted teeth, and then cleared off at the speed of light. So we have this picture from that night, and that was it.
Basically, our first picture together is a selfie. Is a picture that your dad took, where I've not even acknowledged that the person next to me is going to be my wife and the mother of our children. Yeah. And when I look back at that picture now,
it's weird, isn't it?
Fucking hell, you're hot on that picture.
Oh, yeah, and
You've
just
got
noticed.
short hair and you're really hot. But I had that moment of like, oh God, I've just stepped off the stage. I just can have a picture of me talking to my dad. Yeah. And it's not like me being dissing. It's me just like, oh come on, man! I've just done 2 hours on stage, and the first thing you do is take a picture, And I'm like, oh for God, yeah. Oh, mother of my children, I see. And so when we look back and see that picture, it's quite funny that that was the first picture.
I'll have to find that photo so you can put it on to go with this story.
Yeah,
but then. At the time I was on Twitter, back when Dan was on Twitter, I think we tweeted a few things back and forth, nothing major. And then I came to another one of your shows at the same place in October of that year. And
you look nice then as well.
Well, the run up to that show, I had bought this green and white dress, and I had these white shoes that went with it. And I put the shoes on Twitter, as you do, and you'd commented on the night, I think. Yeah. It's something about nice shoes because you'd seen I'd put them on Twitter. Yeah. And I went. It was the first time I'd gone and got my nails done properly, and this is where I met my nail lady Donna, who I still have my nails done with to this day. Yeah. So 10 years strong with her. Yeah. And I took my dress to her and was like, I'm off to see this Gary Barlow tribute again, and this is my dress and I want to look nice. I was going with my mum, my friend, mum's friends. And yeah, it was a good night. And I was the only one, I think, that night who was sober out of my whole bunch. My mum's friend Debbie was
plastered,
Legoed. Because I remember them all standing and having photos, and me just standing there going, "Oh my God, come on!"
This was in the days when I had queues of people.
The queue was huge. It was from the stage back to those doors. What you used to come out of.
Nobody gives a fuck now, do they? No, that's right, including you.
No, I queued up with them, but I was dying inside when they wanted another photo because the photo wasn't very good, and I was just like, "Oh my God, let's go! We look absolutely ridiculous."
And we've got a great picture of you, a picture that's captured you walking away while everyone else is trying to have...
just like,
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But that night, I don't actually know if it was that night or it was the first night, but anybody who's been to the Hilton will know there's a bar in the middle room that you walk through to go to the room where the stage is. I went to that bar on my own. There was nobody else in the room. Dan had finished his show and he came to that bar to get a drink after the show. Only the two of us in the entire room, and we didn't speak to each other. He didn't even look at me, and that's another one of my memories.
And I know why. I know I've said this to you many times. I know why, because there is part of me that doesn't want to put upon a single woman standing there. I'm not going to go and go, hello, it's just me and you now. And so that's part of it. And the other, so I keep myself to myself. And also, I may have just been in a total world of my own because I've just come off stage or whatever I've been doing. And it was like, why should I presume that you want to talk to me?
Well, I didn't.
Exactly.
That's why I didn't speak to you. I was getting a drink. To you.
So I just keep my head down. It's like, hello, what you having? What's a nice girl like you doing at a bar like this, huh? You want a drink and a little bit of ooh la la? No. Especially talking like that, And so, but we ignored each other to some extent. But you know.
Yeah, because I'm just not like that. I wouldn't have been like, hi.
Can I tell people about the Lincolnite?
Yeah.
Right, listen to this. Listen to this one. Okay, so when I started doing this for a living, the Lincolnite who is this shit publication in Lincoln that's now gone bust, thank God. They did an article on me where they really slated me. They're really would you? They invited me in on the premise of doing a nice interview, and they ended up doing a really shitty write-up. So obviously, when they lost their jobs and went bust, I really shed a tear. And they put this really rubbish photograph of me on, and the article headline was kind of, would you book this bloke as a Gary Barlow tribute sort of thing? And cue hundreds of people trolling me. Right, there was a proper troll bait thing that they did, and
was it all like? Let me guess some of the comments. Looks more like Deirdre Barlow.
Yeah, that's one.
Where's Robbie?
I thought that was Barry Garlow. Oh, I know this bloke. He comes into Greg's for his pie, stuff like that. Real highbrow esoteric stuff, and then all this, and so this happened way back, and then when me and Jade got together, or about to get together, we were sat in a restaurant in Nottingham with Jade's mum, and we was talking about trolling and the abuse I'd sort of had over the years on Twitter and Facebook and stuff, which incidentally is all but I get next to no trolling now. It's really weird. But I was talking about trolling, and I said, there was this one time, right, and on Facebook with the Lincolnite, absolutely packed me up the river, and everybody trolled me, blah blah blah. Let me see if I can find it. So I got my Facebook out, searched back years, found Lincolnite, and went, here, look at all these comments. One of the comments was from Jade trolling me. She didn't even know me at the time. It's several years before we'd met. She goes, oh no, Gary Barlow's gorgeous, this bloke's, what do you think, mum? And I read this comment and I went, Jade, you're on here trolling me. Her face went white.
No, your face dropped when you found it.
I thought it was fucking brilliant, the fact that you trolled me, and then delivering that bit of news to you to say, oh, you were one of the bastards that trolled me, was you? Her face literally was like, hey? And she could not believe it. And you've learnt lessons since then.
I was just going to say, I've learned a very valuable lesson since then. I think too many people online think that the person it's just a faceless thing, that the person isn't going to read it. And I shouldn't have wrote that. But no, but I have not wrote anything like that since on anything, because it's rotten.
And for my own part, I used to take the piss out of Ed Sheeran. And I don't do that anymore, and I don't do it for two reasons. Because of exactly one of the reasons that you've just said, because people still read them, and whilst you think he's so big he's never going to read comments, he will. And also, he's Ed fucking Sheeran, and even if I'm not keen on his music, what right have I got to stand there and go, Ed Sheeran? He's slightly better than me. Do you know what I mean? And it just makes me look like a prize cunt, doesn't it? And so you don't do that. And so I don't even go on to, I don't criticise people now unless they're just born idiots and I'm asking for it. I wouldn't go, oh, such and such is appearing at such and such shit. It's like, well, why would you do that? That's just a really nasty low down thing to do.
I think tribute artists in particularly get it really rough. I saw something the other day about a tribute somewhere, and I always read the comments now, regardless of who they are, because I just like to see what people say. And somebody had wrote on there, oh, I can't stand tributes, they make me cringe, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought, and I'm sure she'd put on there as well that she's never been to see one because of that reason. Yeah. And I thought, well, there you go then. And I think people are just rotten sometimes.
They are. We are going to do a tribute special, aren't we, at some point. One of our podcasts will be specifically about the tributes and the tribute industry from our point of view and what we know and what we see, because we've got a lot of thoughts on that, really, good and bad. And what you've just said about, oh, they make me cringe and stuff like that. Well, yeah, some do, actually. But some are really, really, really good, and you can't tar them with the same brush.
There's tributes out there that are amazing.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure the people, if they're still alive, who they're doing the tribute to, realise that themselves.
There are.
I'm sure there's plenty they look at and go, oh, my God.
There are.
But
I mean, I for my mind, I think, the best tributes out there that I've seen and know of, Rob Lamberti, I think, as George. I think he's outstanding. I think you've got an incredible one in Nia King, who does the Whitney Houston. I think she's really, really good. I think you have Vicky Jackson as Pink. I think she's phenomenal as well. And I like to see these people doing, the way they do it. They do it so well. And I know I sound biased, and I don't wish to, this is not a shameless plug or anything, but I genuinely think that Scott Borley as Robbie has everything a tribute should have, and doesn't really realise it. I think there's more to come from Scott.
Yeah.
I think, and what I love about Scott so much is he is egoless. And there's so many Robbies out there who've got fucking egos, and they drive me up the fucking wall, honestly. And Scott is absolutely anything but that. He's a really humble, kind of wobbly guy, and yet on stage, I think he cooks the books really well. But we'll cover tributes.
Yeah,
another time.
Going a bit off topic.
Yeah. Sorry. Off topic's fine.
Off topic.
Yeah.
So going back to sort of 2016 onwards, I mean, I didn't really come on the scene till 2017, but you just, probably built up more popularity. You'd off the back of doing your thing with Gary.
Yep.
You were probably at quite the height of it all.
Yep.
Do you feel bringing me onto the scene had the potential to be damaging? Because nobody wants to see anybody taken, do they? It's so much better if the person is single.
Yes. Don't say you've got a girlfriend.
No, of course not. Because I've got my own views on it all, and how it impacted it all.
What are your views?
Well, at first, I think there was a lot of people who did not like me. I think...
Do you think some of those people still follow me but have changed their mind on you? Or do you think they just disappeared?
No, I think 99% of them have fell off the face of the earth.
Fucked off.
Yeah, good riddance.
Yeah.
I had a lot of my own personal abuse of people, but then I feel there was it from your lot as well. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Okay. Well, I think when I met you, I think there's a real crossover between the business and the personal here, which should be separate, but you can't separate this. I think when I met you, I knew that it wasn't a fleeting thing. I knew that I wanted us to be together, irrespective of anything else. And I would have given up my career as a singer if you'd have asked me to. It was that serious for me. Even though I wanted to be a singer all my life, I think I was starting to recognise the fact that I wanted to be stable and happy, and I'd met somebody who really gave me both of those, that potential. And there was only one way I could really do the balancing act between the two, and that was to not keep you separate from the business. So I made a decision really early to put you front and centre of what I did. So I brought you into social media. I started featuring posts about you, us.
Was there any apprehension when you first started that was not going to go in your favour?
No, do you know, probably not, actually. You'd think there would be. But I was so happy that I'd met you, even though there's massive fallout from us getting together. I felt like with you at my side, I felt like I'd got a bulletproof vest on, and that was fine. So if my career failed because of that, well, it wasn't a career worth having, and I genuinely mean that. So what I wanted to say really was, here's Jade. She's mine. She's that this is it, this is us. If you don't like it, I don't want you. I don't want you following me. I don't want you in my circle of my daily circle, my daily working circle. And then people started to meet you, and they got to know you, and then your personality started to burgeon, and then everybody realised that actually this person's really good for Dan, really good, and they were right, because
I think the nice, decent ones realise that.
That's right.
I think there's a lot that didn't who fell away.
Yeah,
I was told once to my face that, it was absolutely no good for Dan's job, me being on the scene, and that other people were going off to see a different Gary because I was there.
Utter bollocks.
All this stuff, it's so weird because now if somebody said that to me now, I would have just been like, oh my God, and walked off. I wouldn't have. Yeah. It was very different because it was early days and everything was all new to me. And, I kicked myself that I ever let myself stand there and listen to that rubbish.
Yeah. And this was from somebody who was kind of on the inner circle, really. And they end up being fucked off, and I'm glad. And then she took a load of people with her, and they I'm glad that they fucked off as well. So that's it. And
it's like a great big cleansing.
It was, and I'm so glad. I'm so happy about that, because instantly it became better, didn't it? Instantly, and it was almost like a statement of saying, I don't mind losing fans, if that's what a fan looks like. And because and so because that's not the sort of fan I want following me, and you made me happy, so happy, and still do, and have enabled me and supported me to carry on going, and hopefully getting bigger and better at what I do. And they didn't want that change.
I can't understand though how some people turn so nasty towards you. Like, I don't understand what you ever did. There was a floating comment around, or a picture once, about a mask slipping.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably one of the worst things that was ever said, because there was no mask. Yeah. And I think that really was rotten. Yeah. Whether that person ever regretted it or didn't mean it, I don't know. But, and Dan had done something for that person that week as well, to try and make them feel better about something. And then they said that. And I just think, God, at the time, it was like, wow, we really have dealt and are dealing with a lot of idiots and a lot of people who aren't very nice. Whereas, like you said, now, I don't think there's anybody like that.
No,
and actually, it's quite nice, because everybody who's left behind is nice.
Well, the thing that makes me a little bit sad but necessary was it actually hardened us up, didn't it? And I think people saw that and then didn't like that. But we were forced to harden up, because I think we were being, and I was certainly being taken advantage of. And so, and because I'm a bit of a pushover with people, and you made me not a pushover with people.
I think there was probably a big element as well of, this is such a temporary thing. She'll be off the scene soon. Yeah. And I think so. I think that probably contributed to the way people were. Yeah. Because they probably just thought, oh, look at this. Who's this Doris on the scene? I mean, one of the best things I ever heard was, I don't even know where this was now, because they all blend into one, but somebody around a table in the morning at breakfast had commented about, oh, Dan has taken this woman back up to his room last night. And the woman was me. But I didn't even go down to that show, and I was in that room all night.
I know.
The absolute rubbish that you hear is quite unbelievable. And there was somebody with us there at the time who was like our friend, who actually said to the person, oh, that's his wife. And I've heard other things before where somebody had said, oh yeah, he's not married anymore, like he left her or something like that.
I know.
And the table that they were sat on, there was people sat on that table who knew us, And it's just ridiculous. The amount of times I sit with people, not now, but in the earlier days, who would be like, oh, yeah, I know him. Yeah, like we live next door to each other. We went to school together, this, that, the other. Complete load of rubbish. You can't believe anything you hear.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I don't get why people say stuff like that anyway.
I think it's because I got not much else to say. By the way, while we're on that topic, one of the things that I noted down to mention is the you don't worry, you won't be on your own, you can sit with us.
Oh, yeah.
Debacle.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this.
So people who book Dan, who... It's not so much now because I don't go as much. But when I was going to the shows a lot and people knew that, they would always say, you know, tell Jade not to worry. She won't be on her own. She can come and sit with us. It is my worst fear, having to go and sit on a table full of people I don't know. That's not because I have no confidence or because, you know, I'm awkward. I just don't want to.
Correct.
I just don't want to. I'm happy sat in some green room out the back on my own.
And let me tell you something, listeners. She means it. She doesn't want to fucking sit with you. She doesn't want to dance to Relight My Fire. She's seen it all before. She doesn't want to sit next to fucking Karen, who's got halitosis, talking in her ear. She just doesn't want to. She wants to sit in the back, doom scrolling and ordering from Temu until she hears the last fucking note of Never Forget. And I walk back and she's going, have you finished? Can we go home now? She doesn't want to come out front and sit and watch. So, if you think Jade's being ungrateful, when you ask her very nicely to come and sit with her, she fucking is.
Well, Barcelona, for example.
Yeah.
I went to the show with Dan and they were really, really adamant they wanted me to sit with them. I mean, this was a lovely show, like a silver service, the works. It was a posh show. I went in my dress, I was all dressed up, but I did not want to go out the front. You know, I honestly, I can't think of anything worse. I'm so happy sat out the back. In fact, I actually nodded off. And then this Spanish lady come in asking me if there's a sweeping brush in there and woke me up.
Skeeping.
I mean, oh my God.
I know.
But I think they think when I'm saying, oh no, I'm all right, that I'm shy and just being awkward.
Oh, you'll get over your shyness if you come and sit
and they're
with
like,
us.
They'll always say, everybody's really lovely on the table.
Don't give a
and
fuck.
it's like, I'm sure they are, but I just don't want to sit out there.
Everybody's really lovely. They'll make you feel at home.
Do you know what my perfect scenario is? I want to go to the hotel with him. I want the hotel to be outstanding, not a dump. I want Dan to just go off and sing, and I want to be left in the hotel room in silence.
Yep.
I can just sit on the bed, put my pajamas on, I can order some room service and just be left alone. That is my idea of it. I absolutely love it. And if I do come to any of the shows, I'm quite happy if there's a stage just to stand at the back, out the way. I just don't want to be in and amongst everybody.
Yeah.
This is not since being with Dan. I've never been one for being a sociable. I'm not a socialite. I'm just not. It's not my thing. I prefer being at home or prefer just going out in the daytime.
Yeah.
It's just not very me. I had years sort of when I was 20 to 24 where I went out in town with my friend and partied for 4 years. That was as close as being a socialite that I've been. But
and it's
just not for me.
There's something nice actually about being side or backstage when it's going on, because you know it's work. It's a working night.
But I think that's what people don't understand, and I don't blame them for that. But they'll be like, "Oh, come and sit with us, come and dance." It's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, this is just to earn the money
That's
here.
right,
This is just, equivalent to you sat at your desk Monday to Friday. I don't really want to be here.
Come up and dance. Fuck off. I don't want to dance.
No.
Dancing's the last thing I want to do. Oh,
Especially to the songs I've heard 50,000 times that I could recite back to you with the same errors in that Dan makes.
Yeah.
I can even repeat his patter and all his speech.
Why do you think dancing's going to fucking solve everything? It's like, oh, come out front and have a good time. You can speak to Nikki and Laura and Becky. They're all interesting people. and and you can spend your, and then you can get up and dance to Hold Up a Light, and it must be really hard being married to Dan, isn't it? Do you get jealous? Oh, all the same old balls.
People do say that. They go, oh, it must be hard. And I'm like,
how do you put up with it, eh? Oh, yeah.
Those questions make me feel a bit weird because it's just like none of it is awkward at all. In fact, it's great because he's at home like Sunday to Thursday. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. It's true, isn't it? I know.
And people saying, about female attention and all this stuff. Honestly, I don't care about any of that. Yep. I just don't, because I just have the attitude now of if Dan wanted to look elsewhere and go get with somebody else, then crack on. Like, I don't have the time or the energy to even think about that.
Correct.
I just, and it's not because I don't care. Of course I do, but it's just not even on my radar.
That's right.
I think it must be a hard life for people who are in a relationship with people they can't trust or they feel like that. I just haven't got the energy for that.
Right.
I just think if you're in a relationship and that person cheats or they do whatever, then they're going to do it regardless of whether you're there checking their phone, whether you're, following them around doing whatever, or whether you're not. It's going to happen.
It is.
So why waste your energy on it?
That's right, exactly. So don't ask Jade if she wants to come and sit out front, basically.
That went full circle back to that.
Fucking hell, I've had 10 minutes on that. What's the next question?
Well,
what you got?
Yeah, because that really covered everything. Obviously, I mean, the abuse and the impact of me being at shows and stuff. You're right. There isn't a lot of trolling now, and I noticed that. I don't know why, because I don't know why it was so bad back then.
I think Twitter was particularly bad, though.
Well, that was a cesspit.
It was, and I'm not on Twitter anymore.
No.
And I'm glad about that. I mean, I quite liked the good stuff of Twitter was being able to retweet an idiot and say something sarcastic and put them down. And I loved that. But it doesn't seem to work on Facebook because you might do it to a comment and people just don't seem to take it in the same way. But, Twitter, I don't miss. I instantly felt better when I deactivated Twitter. Instantly. And, some of the knobs on Twitter and, a lot of them they take that Gary, fans who like worship his every move and are gatekeeping him. It's nonsense, isn't it? You just don't see that amongst other.
I'd love to know what he really thinks to all that.
He'd hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's normal.
They pay his bills, but so he would purposely ignore it. But he must see that and go, "Fuck you know."
How do you live your life just following somebody else's every move?
I don't know.
Being obsessed by somebody else. I just. Know. Even thinking about it tires me out.
I'm always surprised when people assume I'm a huge Gary Barlow fan. It's like, you think about this a second. I'm a Gary Barlow tribute who looks a bit like Gary Barlow and does the show, etc. Do you think that follows on from being a huge Gary Barlow fan? Oh, I'm a massive fan. Do you know what? I think, I look like him. I'm going to be a tribute. It's like, no, not at all. I thought Take That were an absolute pile of pants when I was growing up. They were just for young girls who would throw themselves in front of a bus because Mark Owen didn't look at them that day. I mean, come on. And then what happened was, as I kind of got to know Take That, I thought, do you know what? I like this music. I kind of like it. It's not my favourite music, not by a long chalk, but I like the music. But I really love singing it. And I love the reaction it gets. But it doesn't mean I'm a massive.
It's very timeless.
It is timeless, yeah. And I don't worship Gary's every move. God, I think he's made some right fucking howlers. Haven't we all?
Yes.
And those fans that love every fucking thing he ever does.
You can't. I don't get the people who absolutely think that every song that comes out is amazing, because you cannot like everything.
I know.
And you've got to have an opinion on stuff. I regularly tell Dan that what he's singing is utterly terrible. Yeah. You can't.
Because
you can't be. It's not sincere, is it?
It's not. And what it does, it renders the when you say, I like song X, which and I like song Y, right? If you kind of say like, for example, the Since I Saw You Last album, okay? I think the song Since I Saw You Last is fucking amazing. I think it's an outstanding song. I hated it when I first heard it. I thought, this is rubbish, but now I love it. I think it's the best song he's ever written, and I include Take That. There's a song on that album called This House, which literally is like the contents of a fucking toilet bowl. It's utter shit, right? And now if I went, oh, Gary, I love Since I Saw You Last, I love This House as well because it's you, it renders my praise of an actual good song that I like, indifferent, or unreliable, because you can't like everything. And if you like everything, then you're not discerning enough to be able to tell the good from the bad. Do you think every single song Gary's written is good? Of course it's not. I mean, Take That, I've done some fucking shit songs, but so have every other artist I like, and every other artist you like. I mean, but they've done some amazing songs as well. And sometimes people come up to me and say, oh, will you put Open Road into your set? I said, no, I hate it. I hate that song. But, no, I just hate it. I would have put Open Road in it. It's shit. But it's not shit. It's brilliant. Well, you might think it is. Go to see a tribute artist who does it then. Because I won't do it because I hate the song. And I think it's an awful song. I think the lyrics are awful. It's funny
how many people don't know Since I Saw You Last, though. Because we always have this thing of, is this a fan show?
Yeah.
Yes, we can open with that. Yeah. Is it not? No, let's open with Greatest Day. Because the amount of people who just sit a bit open-mouthed at that song. And yet it is brilliant.
That's right.
And exactly. I love it when you do shows where it's got proper fans at it, because I love them all just really singing back and getting involved. I love them up on the dance floor from the off, they're the shows.
That's right.
Where you've got all the proper fans.
Yeah, I like that, and it's good for my soul as well, because
not when you're singing to Derek and Susan who are telling you that the speaker's too loud.
It's a good turn, but I wish it'd quieten down a little bit. We had a black fellow on last week. He was all right and all. It's just like, oh, God.
They're waiting for a pie and pea
they
interval.
Are. That's right, exactly. Okay, where were we?
Well, we can either carry on through the years or we can go on to some life stuff.
Oh, let's do some life stuff. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you was not coming into we have a little Monday club for the kids. So basically, it's myself and Jade and our friends Pip and Rose and Anna and Sophie and sometimes Sammy, and we've got all the kids there, mostly girls. And all the kids are generally
all girls.
Apart from Harry, but he's never there because he's at school. And anyway, you went there on Monday, and I was there with Mabel, and we got talking about Pip having a B-day.
That the kids regularly turn
wash their
on.
hands with, yeah. Or I think Seven cleans her teeth in. So, but then we got talking about the process of using a B-day. And the stages.
What, as in, when you've had a poo, do you wipe, then use the bidet? Is that the...
So how do you see it? What's the process of using a bidet in your eyes?
Well, for starters, I've never ever used one.
Don't justify.
I haven't, genuinely.
I haven't.
But I would also be wary that water wasn't going to hit the right place and would just spray around the bathroom.
Oh, right, okay.
So that would be one of my reasons, because it's like a jet, isn't it?
So it's not hitting your bumhole, it might hit your fanny or the towel.
It might just miss everything and just spray around the room.
Couldn't miss your arse. Yeah, go on, that's right, yeah. Okay.
But no, I would wipe. Surely you wipe, clean yourself up, and then use that to rinse.
But then do you dab? And what do you dab with? A flannel?
The face towel.
Yeah, but the face... but Pip's argument was that... when you dab, you're dabbing a clean arse, so it doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, but can't you dab with toilet roll?
But then you stand the chance of...
Bit snapping off.
Yeah, bit slipping off. So basically, you've had a big shit, right? Then you've wiped.
Yeah.
Then you get on the bidet, give yourself a bum freshener.
Yeah.
Okay, which is what we called it. Then you dab.
Shake. Or get a posh bidet that's got a blower on.
Well, we were on about this. Do they have dual-purpose
I don't
bidet.
who has a bidet? If you have a bidet,
Please write in.
tell us.
Yeah.
And do you use it?
How do you go about it? How do you go? And also, for a bloke, if a bloke, and this we didn't cover on a Monday, because there's no other, if you go up and have a wee and have a shake, as you would usually do you go to the bidet and turn it on and give your bell end a little tinkle?
Well, yeah, but that's no different to a woman.
That's correct. And so if you've had a wee as a woman, would you go and give your fanny a bit of a tickle with a bidet?
No.
And also, how long should you stay on the bidet?
Well,
Because this is it. Is there a set amount of time you should stay on? And after
it starts to get weird.
It gets fucking weird. I've been on the bidet for 15 minutes. And also, if there's any shit left, does that drop into the bidet?
But how do you know?
I don't know. I've never used one.
Do you know, I had a friend once who, we had this conversation, so when you have a poo and you wipe, do you look at the toilet roll to make sure that there's still no poo coming off you?
I do. I
because
wipe until...
my friend said she didn't.
What?
She just sensed that there was nothing on it. And
You
me
can't
and
sense.
her partner could not understand that. And we were like, that is mad.
No.
How do you know you got that poo off you?
You don't, because eventually you are wiping and the smudgy feel has stopped.
The smudgy
The
feel.
smudgy feel is up, but then you get the dry. So
Oh.
it dries, but there's still a little bit of something on it.
But I don't think tissue
No,
that's not going to get anybody properly clean, is it?
no.
Until you've had a shower or a bath.
That's right, exactly.
But
So
yeah, I don't know about the drying then. If we're
Pip was
coming
saying,
back to that.
Pip was saying that a friend of hers, when they have a poo, they always have a shower after they've had a poo. And I mean, I can understand the premise of wanting to do that.
What
but
do you
it's-
for your work?
It's quite hard. Well, I wouldn't have a poo and then.
I've never had a poo at work.
Oh, at work.
Yeah.
Once it's a bit like you cross the line. Once you've had your first poo at work, then there's no turning back.
I think it's different with men. I just do. I just think they don't care so much about their environment, and I think you just pebble dash the place and stink it out. Women, we tend to have a bit more respect, and we just wouldn't do that.
I don't agree with that at all. I think that having been in women's loos on several occasions for many different reasons, I think women fucking destroy toilets.
That's a dread thing. The type of women you've been around.
No, I've seen no. But yeah, if I've had to whatever, just pop into a woman's toilet
As you do.
as you do for whatever reason, I'm just like, oh my God, the state of this. And but men, there's always a bloke at work who is known for bobbing.
Oh yeah.
That's what gets
Yeah.
me. It's like, he's always got a bit of a. You always suspect he lives at home on his own. Okay, he's always
Mum cooks him tea.
Mum cooks him tea. It's always sausages, right? He dresses badly. Probably wears a lot of Marks and Spencer's C&A clothing, and he always has a regular shit time. And it will. You see him walking along the corridor. He'll have what those sort of trousers that are those sort of Farrah trousers, or the trousers that are a bit flammable. Those flammable trousers, and and he'll always come out the toilet looking a bit rosy cheeked. I must have told you about the time. I have told you about the time, but I haven't told the listeners about the 3 cubicle and the door missing. Shall I tell them?
Yeah.
So one Friday afternoon, when I was working at the university, I was about to go home, and I thought I'll have a quick wee, and I'll go home. So I went into the loos, and the urinals were out of action, and in our gents we had 3 cubicles, and the cubicle on the left had a door on it, the cubicle on the right had a door on it, the cubicle in the middle, the door was knackered and had been taken off. Okay, so you could see the toilet, and now bear in mind the urinals are out of use. Right? So I went to the middle cubicle where there's no door and had a wee into that.
Can I ask why you went to pick the one with no door?
Because I only needed a wee.
Well, I know that, but why?
Because it was just
lazy.
Well, yeah, it was available. It was I didn't need to get involved in the opening and shutting the door. There was no need for me to be involved in that. I was minding my own fucking business. I went and just had a wee at the toilet, like I would do at home. And I remember flushing, toilet clean. I go in for the weekend, right? I come back on Monday morning, go into the bathroom, right, and urinals are still out of use. Head for a wee. In that toilet, there was a load of skids. right, a load, I mean like loads of skids. Now that means that somebody over the weekend, listeners, do your maths, physics, somebody over the weekend has gone in, had a big shit in that one without the toilet door on. They could have used the other ones with the toilet doors, but no, they used the one without the toilet door. That's bravery.
Danger poo.
Danger pooing. I mean, can you imagine going in and going, I really need a shit, okay? I'll not use the one that's totally private. I'll sit on the one that where anybody could walk in and catch me at any point having a big bob.
Maybe they're into that.
And then didn't get rid of the skids. Now that's
Do
weird.
people clear their skids off public toilets? Do they care
I don't
enough?
No, I don't think they do. I think they think, fuck the next person. You know, and yet when you go in and the skid's there, you always go, for God's sake! Oh, why couldn't they just clear it up? And then what you end up doing is you end up adding to it. So you'll win and go, I'm not bothering flushing, because if they've not fucking wiped the skids away, I'm not even going to flush. I'm not going to pick that toilet roll up I've dropped. And so the person who sets the low standard only, you know, builds, because I'm not going to go and, well, somebody's done a load of skids in here, I better clean it up before I do. You're not going to clean somebody else's spike marks up, are you?
Oh my God.
You're just not. You're not at all.
The worst toilets for me when I was travelling a lot with you are the petrol stations.
Awful.
Where they've like the Shell garage. Even worse, the ones where they say, oh, it's outside.
Oh.
Go outside and it's just this one absolute hole outside and it stinks. It's wet through on the floor. You don't know what you're standing in, but you're that busting. I mean, the amount of times that I would just find a Starbucks cup in the van and go in the back of the van and wee in the cup.
Oh, God.
I did it all the time because I would not use them minging toilets.
I've got a bottle of wee in the back of the van.
That's disgusting.
It's been there since Saturday.
That's nice.
I used it. It was a Starbucks, and I think it's actually, I filled the Starbucks one and half a water cup.
But it's got a really nice layer of scum on it now.
I think it might have done. Fucking hell, I better change that before the weekend.
Lovely.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll deal with that.
I don't know. I don't even know how we got on to this.
So any other questions then? Any other?
I've got.
Yeah, where did we get to? And then I think what we'll do is we'll probably wrap up for this one and see how we go. I genuinely hope you're enjoying these podcasts. We're going to really try and do probably 1 to 2 a week. We love the fact that you are listening. And it's nice for...
To be honest, I'm getting to the point where I'm happy to move away from talking about you and your job and things just talk about life and...
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Normal, funny things.
Yeah, exactly. Normal, funny things. Okay.
Kat Smith.
Yes.
What?
Hi, Kat.
Where's Graham gone?
Oh, Graham... Oh, no, I don't know, to be honest with you. It's gone away. It's not been here for a while now. I don't know. Can I just say, by the way, the Graham appeared. It was accidentally called Graham because somebody said, oh, that character that you do is Graham. And it wasn't. I never named him. What I actually said was... It's great.
Oh, great.
I said it's great. And somebody misheard it as, it's Graham.
Well, I would, because I can't understand Scottish people.
Yeah, and so, is that Graham? I said, it's Graham. Actually, what I said was, it's great. And no, but my mummy's been on the phone again. She wants me to sing her wee song. So I thought I'd sing Never Mind the Bollocks album from start to finish for my dear old mummy.
When me and Dan used to go up to Scotland, I'm not joking, I needed a translator up there. Oh. I don't know. Like, I'm just not very good with it. I couldn't understand what anybody was saying to me.
Just sitting here in front of a Scots person. It's like watching, oh God, just watching... It's like watching somebody from Hull and somebody from Manchester speak to each other. It's like watching two aliens. Jade was like nodding
at anything.
Colin, he was going, and Jade's like looking at me, going, "What did he say?" He said, "Do you want an iron brew?"
Oh my God! We've got a story about Scotland. I don't know whether we can.
Which one's that?
If we're on the toilet subject, if you want to finish it off with that.
Yeah, that was good.
We were in Montrose and we stayed in this really nice B&B, and it was like a big old house, wasn't it?
It was.
It was really nice, and
Run
it
by
was
a couple, really nice couple.
Really nice. Did a great breakfast.
Yeah.
There was a toilet in the bathroom that was a macerator toilet, so not a one that's, proper one, and it needed to be treated with care. Needed no big poos or no thick materials down it. There was a sign on top of the toilet to tell you about this. It had fell off, and I was in there. This was 2017, so we're going back some years, and I don't do this now, by the way, but I was taking my makeup off with a load of face wipes, and I just threw them in the toilet.
What she's failed to point out, she'd already done a massive poo. She'd done a massive poo.
That could have been anybody.
No, it was
that could have been you.
You'd done a massive poo right in there, and then you were taking off your makeup and throwing the blooming pads down the toilet.
Yeah.
And then you went to flush and it all fucked up.
Yeah, it's totally blocked. It was wrecked.
And this is while I was out doing the sound checking, and I remember coming back to the hotel from the sound check. Walked in and you were cowering on the bed.
Oh, not quite.
You were cowering on the bed. But before I got to the bedroom, you have to walk down this little hallway, and then the toilet with the macerator is on your left-hand side. And I walked past the open door of this, and the man who owned it, what was his name?
Kenny.
Hey, fucking hell, Kenny, it's fucking look at you, as well. I fucking put your fist to your mouth. And it's like, Kenny was a proper iron bruised Scotsman, like, don't look at me the wrong way, or fucking knock your fucking teeth out, you fucker. And he was on the floor on his knees with the toilet in bits and all shit fucking covered face wipes all round him. The look he gave me when I walked past him, oh, it's a fucking macerator, you cunt. And I went, what's happened? What's happened? And I walked into the bedroom, and Jade is on the bed, like, don't tell him it was me. So that's it. And
that's my experience of Scotland.
Last time in Montrose.
Never been back since.
I know, never been invited. Yeah, that's right. They shut that place down afterwards.
To be honest, if Dan gets any shows up in Scotland, my soul leaves me, because I'm just like, the drive up there. No, and no.
I know, but this is a real shame, because I actually really love. I love Scotland. I love the people up there, and I really love performing in Scotland. It's fine if you don't have to take your kit. Like one time we went on the train, that was okay. It's the travelling up there. Yeah. And then one time we got given accommodation that was just awful. So at midnight we decided we're not sleeping in here, and drove all the way home, and we pulled back up on our driveway at 9:15 in the morning. Yeah, I know.
9 and a bit hours.
I know.
I mean, it's crazy, just not even funny, is it?
I know.
And then one time you got a show in Inverness, which I'd always joked about, saying, oh, imagine if you get one there. And you did.
Several hours.
Why? No amount of money would I drive up to Inverness.
I know, I don't charge
more
enough.
for you.
I know. Kat, so what was she saying about Kat?
Well, she just asked what Graham was up to these
right,
days.
okay. Yeah, cool. Any other
There's a few more questions
Go
from
on then.
Kat.
Let's finish on these ones. Go for it.
This is quite a lengthy one, though.
Go on, see what I can do.
How difficult was it to rebuild after COVID, and did you come close to having to give up and be an employee again?
Oh, yeah.
I think we were going to cover that in a
separate one.
In a separate one.
But in brief,
because we're building up.
We are building up. Yeah, we are. I think we'll probably
come back to that.
We'll save that one, Kat,
because we've got to sort of 2017ish. We will, because that is a whole other story. Because obviously we went and worked and
we'll
did
talk
all
about
sorts.
We'll talk about us getting married next time, and then COVID
build
and
up to
the
it.
kids. We really, really want to talk about our fertility
Yeah, gosh.
journey.
There's a whole fertility journey.
Oh,
There's all sorts. We spoke about talking about terrible driving.
Yeah.
Dan's terrible driving.
Can I just say, I hate terms like fertility journey.
Yeah,
I hate terms like, oh, is it my food noise is coming back? I hate stuff like that. Where are these terms? Tell me about your fertility journey. You know, it's oh, fuck off. Tell us how you got pregnant. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, to be honest with you, it's all about my drug journey. It's just, oh, give over. But yeah, we'll talk about that. I think we can cover that next time, actually.
Yeah. Because the fertility journey, your journey, not mine. I mean, it's that whole thing. When we'll talk about it, really is Dan. He was poorly, and it was kind of his journey. I haven't really.
Yeah, but
it was a solo journey in terms of medication for you, but
yeah, I guess so. But that's a good one to talk about next. But it's maybe we can talk about that and just lean in and out of the Gary Barlow stuff, because really it's a mix of the personal and the work, and that's what's nice, because one informs the other, doesn't it, really? We talk about Bracebridge Heath after the miscarriage.
Oh my God.
I know, and all that. And
miscarriage, that's a good thing to talk about, because honestly, when that happened to me and then you speak about it, you realise everybody then comes out the woodwork and says, oh, that happened to me.
Yeah, it's a big thing, isn't it, really?
And also my views on it are probably not what you think they would be. How we'll talk about that next time.
We'll come to that at some point. Okay, I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed it again?
I have, yeah.
I have.
I really like it.
It's been nice.
It's a real switch off from life for I don't even know how long we've been talking.
No, I'm not sure really. Maybe an hour. It's a good focus, and when we talk, I feel like somebody's listening, which is a strange thing, because usually
one of our friends said she didn't like listening because she felt like she was intruding on our conversation.
Anna. Great. Well, we will see you next time, and thank you for tuning in to the second episode of the Hadcast.
Oh, God.